I said to her when I met her that after reading about her, all of the incredible things she's done, just to name a few, that she'd worked with Mother Teresa. Actually, one of the aides that I had, I'm a teacher, was one of Mother Teresa's orphans. And wow. So it's an interesting connection. Plus working internationally with the Red Cross and wishes of you with in Africa. But I'm old enough to be her mother, but I loved my mother. My mother was beautiful inside and out, and I see from her that this woman is beautiful inside and out, and I am glad that people like you are going to be carrying this world to a different level, and it can only come with collective change, as I was saying to Sue Ann, but it takes great leadership and great courage. So we honor you for your courage, and please speak to us. Thank you so much.
I might fall asleep if I sit down. The tea did a good job for me now. It's turned me up. I don't want to stand on my back to you, but I'm just going to stand here if that's the right thing to keep people in both rooms as much as possible. First of all, I know that you only got, I think, 24 hours notice that I was coming in, so I'm absolutely flabbergasted at how many people there are in this beautiful home. And I thank you both very sincerely for opening up your home, not only to me, but to all of your friends and the community here. It's really important that we understand how important community really is. And as you described, how we really want, this is a collective effort. This isn't about me, it's not about Dennis, this is about all of us. This is about not only Democrats or Republicans, it's about the whole nation. And we need to move forward with the clarity of our hearts, moving really with the strength and integrity of our hearts, to make sure that we have the future that it is that we know our families and our friends and our children truly deserve. And so that's why Dennis and I move through the way that we do in Washington, and that's why Dennis, obviously for a long time prior to when he met me, was moving through Washington and other circles with great intention and clarity and integrity, is because he does listen to other people's hearts, but more importantly he listens to his own, and he's very true to himself. And we can see that really from what happened in 2002 and 2003 with the march towards war in Iraq, where in October of 2002 Dennis wrote an extensive analysis which pulled apart the administration's resolution for war. Every single point he managed to disprove. And he wrote and distributed this to every single member of Congress, and he distributed it to the press corps as well. And that's because he read what he needed to read. He did the research he needed to do. He knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. He knew that there was no connection between Iraq and Al-Qaeda's role in 9/11, and all the different lies that were fabricated to take us on that war path. And Dennis really stood in integrity when others decided to vote for war. Maybe they knew that it was the wrong thing to do, but people often take decisions because of immediate political gain or because of groupthink. And we need leaders in this country. We need leaders who will stick their head above the parapet and will get shot at, but will survive. And that's what Dennis has done. You know, they called him a traitor, they called him unpatriotic because of the stance that he took. And that's very easy for people who are trying to take over the government and trying to really have a line of thinking called peace through strength, which is preemption, unilateralism, first strike. Do unto others before they do unto you. This kind of thinking takes us into totalitarian regimes. It takes away our civil liberties, it undermines our constitution, and it really will move toward destroying our nation, and we can't have that. So Dennis has seen very, very early on that he had to vote against the Patriot Act, the only person running for president on the Democratic ticket who voted against the Patriot Act, the only one who voted against the Military Commissions Act. All of these different things that have come that really are shredding our constitution and our democracy. Dennis understands how precious and how fragile that very mechanism is. We have something in America which is very, very precious. And it's something that our founding mothers and fathers worked a great deal of time to create. From understanding, coming from lands of persecution, and they came over here and they forged this document called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, which is really for us to uphold. They knew that we had to be vigilant to protect that, but we've kind of taken our eyes off that watch. And so many pieces of legislation have been passed now that the government can really do anything that it likes, and the president can do anything that he likes by taking any one of us from the streets and taking us to a secret military prison. They can do torture. All of that is legal now. That's not America. That's not the America I grew up thinking about when I was in the UK. That's not the America that I think we all, as we were all growing up, understood America to be. This is a foreign land now, but it's not. This is our home. This is where we belong, and so we have to really participate in rebuilding it again, in strengthening democracy, in moving with the integrity of our own hearts, in creating a movement for democracy. This presidential campaign is, yes, about the White House, but more importantly, it's about creating a very long-term movement that moves into not only the next few years, but the next decades and the next centuries, really to move to make sure that we can't have an assault on our democracy as we've had in recent decades. We need to start to stand up for our country again. I find it quite ironic when me, a Brit, comes to America to rally you to a call to independence again. But I really see that that's... This really is about you. You don't have to take your arms to the streets. You just have to take your vote to the ballot box. And we really hope that it will be a ballot box. Dennis has a paper ballots bill in, so let's hope that we can have that. Do we have any, by the way, do you have any sign-up sheets here, Nancy? Would you, as I've said, this is about building a movement. This is about building out. This is about enrolling people in. This is about not only talking amongst ourselves, but reaching out to people who may be unaware of what's going on, who may be very frightened of what's going on, and be sort of, put into a little corner and feel they kind of got no power. But we, the people, have the power in this process. And when we have somebody in Washington or anywhere within our communities who stands with integrity, who cannot be bought, who cannot be bossed, who cannot be sold, who's not even up for rent, that's Dennis Kucinich. That's my beautiful husband who I love so dearly, because he is as clean as a whistle. You just can't put anything on him. And when we, the people, connect with those who represent us on every level of government, on every level of community involvement, then we, the people, have the power. More powerful than any political lobbyist, more powerful than any moneyed interests. When we work and engage within the political process with true integrity, with someone with integrity that represents us, we can truly move mountains, and I really believe that. And hopefully we can move the private mercenaries out of Iraq, and move the private mercenaries out of the business of taking all of our tax dollars, and move our troops out of Iraq, and really move in peace. And that's what we're really trying to do. And we're dedicating our lives to that. So if we could pass some sign-up sheets around, I would really appreciate you putting your names down and trying to encourage your friends and your family and your relatives and anyone that you know to go to our website, dennisforpresident.com, get them to sign up there so that they can at least get our updates. And then maybe when they get our updates and start looking at who Dennis is, they might too want to join a movement which is about upholding our democracy and upholding our country. This is a long-term movement. This movement also needs finances. I was telling some people earlier today that we actually had to spend our Nevada advertising budget on the recount in New Hampshire. So we didn't have the funds available to do both, but we really knew that we had to hit the deadline in New Hampshire to make sure that the election integrity was upheld there. We've called for a recount. The recount is underway. We had to pay a lot of money to do that because there were discrepancies between the hand-counted ballot count and the machine-counted ballots. And although we don't expect that we would receive any more votes or percentage than we did already, we knew that discrepancy can't be allowed to get away with. Not again. We had 2000, the election was stolen. 2004, the election was stolen. People went off the beat. People were not vigilant. The government was not representing us, the interests of the people. Our democracies were undermined. So Dennis knew that when he saw these discrepancies that he had to go in and make sure that we really saw that there is a fair election. We can crack open the question of the debold machine. We can crack open the questions of so many other things, but we have to use our resources to do so. So if you can, please write a check for Dennis for President 2008. This is about beyond the presidency. This is about democracy. This is about a movement. This is about gaining strength back in our country, integrity back in our politics. And I thank you all for being here, really, truly, from the bottom of my heart. And it really does, it gives me hope that I can be very tired when I'm moving around and talking to many groups of people, but I'm so thankful that there are so many groups of people to be spoken to, so many groups of people who come together with the same heart, the same mind, the same intentions, all wanting to have America that really is an upstanding America that represents us all. So, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.